Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray. We're still at Bridge Creek High School. Yeah. It is the 5A area runner-up game in the boys bracket between the Carl Albert Titans and the Midwest City Bombers. This is not just a cross-school district rivalry. This is a cross-town rivalry. Both Midwest City high schools here at Bridge Creek tonight. One of them is going to the state tournament, and one of them is going home for the season, Jordan.
Yeah, you and I, Tracy, are keeping our distance as one of us has COVID. No, I'm kidding. But we are a little farther apart than usual, but that's okay. We got our camera guy, Bernie. He's in between us. He may come to the camera shot any second now. But anyway, yeah, this is it's just interesting. We kind of hate to see this in a way. That it was better when they played last year, although last year when they played in the playoffs, that was the semifinals of the state tournament. Even then, it was like, could they not have met in the championship round like we saw Carl Albert and Del City do the year before? But that's how it works out. And both teams are here. Something's got to give. In the case of Midwest City, they are the defending 5A champs. Will they be dethroned before they get to state? Carl Albert, Jay Price has led them to the state tournament every year since 2010. Is that going to go here? Because this is, of course, an elimination game. Only one of these teams can make it to the state tournament. Unfortunately, only one. There's been times when they both made it, but we'll see which one can be better tonight. Both teams have their advantages. Both teams have their disadvantages, so I'm expecting a much closer game than we had earlier today when Del City girls took care of business against Guyman. So I'm looking forward to this a lot. I think we could be in store, could be the key phrase. We could be in store for an exciting one.
Everything on paper says this is a very even matchup. When you look at their records on the season, both teams 19-8. When you look at their history of performance over the just not only last year but the last several years, both teams have a history of performing well throughout the playoffs. Now here they find themselves at the exact same spot in the area tournament, fighting for a chance to go play in the state tournament. And either one of these teams makes the state tournament, they're going to be competitive in the state tournament with a chance to go win it all.
It's worth mentioning, whoever makes the state tournament, just similar to the game we had earlier with the girls, on the boys' side, whoever wins this game will play Booker T. And we could have a rematch of the state championship game if Midwest City wins. Wouldn't Booker T love that? Because they lost a heartbreaker to the Bombers last year, but Carl Albert as well would give Booker T quite the game. I think it would be a fascinating first-round matchup, whichever team plays them, and we're going to find out who it is.
So both teams with a blowout win in their first-round game in regionals. Carl Albert beat Duncan 88-30. Midwest City beat Noble 100-47. Carl Albert won their second game 88-50 over John Marshall, a team that actually swept Midwest City in the regular season. We still don't know exactly how that happened, and I don't mean any disrespect to John Marshall with that. I'm just surprised they were able to win two over Midwest City.
Maybe John Marshall will shock the world and beat El Reno tonight over at Piedmont, but I wouldn't bet on it. How about if they do? I mean, of course, though, they can be a tough out as well. But yes, it's a tougher matchup than you expect Carl Albert to have when in a consolation game. Like last year when they played El Reno was good, but it was not the tough matchup you would expect like when they had against Crossings last year for the actual area championship game. So anyway, it's a very tough matchup for Carl Albert here for a consolation game, but also very tough for Midwest City.
And Midwest City lost in the second round of regionals to El Reno 72-83. They got the win then over MacArthur last night 51-35. And for Carl Albert, it was a loss to Lawton, a 4-point loss, 58-54. But we're getting ready for National Anthem here at Bridge Creek. And so we're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger, please Brent back the Monterey melt. Brent back. Okay, yeah, message received. We're Brentfing it back. Grilled peppers and onions, 2 slices of melty cheese, and jalapeno ranch on 2 fresh beef patties. Brent it on. The Whataburger Monterey melt is back. We brunched it all right. What a burger!
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
Call Rob and Will.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Bridge Creek High School Class 5A area runner-up game. Carl Albert Titans versus the Midwest City Bombers. It's an all Midwest City game here tonight. And we are about to have our starting lineups. Those are sponsored by Dynamic Health Clinic. At Dynamic Health Clinic, Dr. Kaufman specializes in athletic injuries and is able to get athletes back in action very quickly using a system called Advanced Muscle Integration. Play better and recover faster at Dynamic Health Clinic. The visitor on the scoreboard today, the Carl Albert Titans. Starting lineup for the Titans, coached by Jay Price, record of 19-8 on the season. Sophomore, 6-foot sophomore, number 1, Delijah Matthews. A 5'7" junior, number 2, Adrian Randall. A 6'2" junior, number 3, Jordan Hawkins. A 6'2" junior, number 21, Brandon Rogers. And a 6'2" junior, number 23, LeBron Royal. Not a senior on the starting lineup for Carl Albert. The starting lineup for the Midwest City Bombers. A 6'5" sophomore, number 32, Kenyon Brown. A 6-foot junior, number 2, Caleb Stevens. A 6'3" junior, number 5, Deshaun Denson II. A 6'1" senior, number 4, Mason McKenzie. And a 6'2" senior, number 21, Brandon Dixon.
Well, some keys early on here, Tracy, is for Midwest City, can they keep LeBron Royal off the glass? In particular, Kenyon Brown, who is only a sophomore, and does he have the strength and the athleticism to battle LeBron Royal down low, even though he's got a bit of a height advantage? And for Carl Albert, can Brandon Rogers start to score some? He had a good defensive game against Lawton High, but the shot wasn't there. They may need that to change.
We are about ready for the opening tip-off. Our playoff basketball this season brought to you by Confident Chevrolet Buick GMC, your hometown dealer for new and pre-owned vehicles. Visit Confident Chevrolet Buick GMC, exit Hudaburg at 6100 Tinker Diagonal, Midwest City. Confidence is Cavender. Opening jump, Brandon Rogers for Carl Albert and Caleb Stevens. Oh, excuse me. I look like a number 2. Sorry about that. Number 4, Mason McKenzie.
I make that mistake all the time. Remember, Midwest City knocked off Carl Albert last year in the semifinals. The Titans will look to return the favor. Brandon Dixon steals a tip for Midwest City.
Midwest City getting their offense set up here to begin the ball game. First quarter brought to you by Scrambled. We start this game the way you should start your day. For breakfast or brunch, try their chicken and pancakes and deep-fried French toast. 1742 Northeast 23rd Street, Suite A, Oklahoma City. 405-900-5972. Scrambled.
All right, we do see Brandon Rogers as we see a tip that will go back to Midwest City. Brandon Rogers is guarding Deshaun Denson. That's the matchup I expected. If you're going to put Rogers on Tavarius Deans of Lawton High, he's the type of defender you want on Deshaun Denson, but that will be an interesting battle.
Inbound play side out for Midwest City. Denson pass inside, and scoring the bucket is Kenyon Brown.
He had a good finish to start the game yesterday against did there. That's not as easy of a shot as it looks.
Matthews sets up the offense for Carl Albert. Rogers, as Matthews post up down low.
Yeah.
Matthews goes up, floater, no good. Battle for the rebound, picked up by Hawkins. Hawkins takes the three. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance three for Jordan Hawkins.
Well, I was talking about keeping LeBron Royal off the boards, but it was Carl Albert getting an offensive rebound, kind of a team offensive rebound that leads to 3 points for him.
Bobby Lewis Insurance has surprisingly great rates with 2 locations to serve you. Choctaw at 405-281-6700 and Dell City at 405-670-3665. First foul of the basketball game being called on Carl Albert. That foul goes against Adrian Randall.
He's checking Stevens. Now, 2 X factors would be Stevens for Midwest City and Elijah Matthews for Carl Albert. They both can be really good at times and noticeable in offense, and they can be quiet at times as well.
Midwest City taking their time. Denson out top. 3, no good. It rims out. Randall gets the rebound.
Rogers went under the screen, so Denson had to look and almost made it.
Royal out top now, gives the ball back to Matthews. Matthews defended by Denson. Denson's got the long reach. I mean, he's tall, but his arms are long. Rogers for 3. Back iron, no good. Matthews with the offensive board.
The Midwest City's just too far into the basket on some of these shots, and that's why Carl Albert's getting these offensive rebounds.
Matthews goes right. Kicks the ball back out. Royal still dribbling. Smart not to pick up his dribble. Skip pass to Rogers. Rogers for 3. That one's long. Back iron, no good. The rebound goes to Brown. Corner for Midwest City. No shot. Randall's closed on defense quickly. Denson looking inside. Nobody's there. Finds the cutting Stevens. Stevens brings his elbows up, trying to clear out, make some space. Has the ball taken away by Royal. Royal's got strong arms, strong hands.
Stevens has the matchup advantage with his height, but he's got to finish off the glass like Royal does right there.
LeBron Royal with the bucket, and 7-2 is the score. 5-2 is the score. Carl Albert on top. Royal with a block. A rebound goes to Hawkins. Rogers dribbling behind his back in the corner, comes back out top with it. Denson still on D. And a 5-second count is a turnover for Carl Albert.
Yeah, sometimes it takes Carl Albert a bit of time to get going on offense, and sometimes it takes him too much time.
Offensively, when you're a player and you dribble from the wing back out top, sometimes you just don't feel the pressure of the 5 seconds, but the count does not restart just because you change position on the court.
That's true. That's something that may have tricked Brandon Rogers there on that 5 count.
4:20 to play here in the scrambled first period. McKenzie with the ball on the left wing, going against Hawkins. Pivot, spins, finds a man inside, and one coming for Brandon Dixon.
See this on the replay. Mason McKenzie tried to create earlier, had his shot blocked, and stayed with Carl Albert there. He finds Brandon Dixon, who doesn't look to shoot very much, but he was under the basket there and open, and he converts. Credit Brandon Dixon for the finish. Can he tie the game? Yes, he can.
Dixon gets the Toonie Buys Houses free throw and ties it up 5-5. Toonie Buys Houses in any condition. If you're someone you know needs to sell a home for any reason, call today for a cash offer. 405-931-3046. Dangerous pass from Randall. Players almost running into it, cutting through the paint. Royal passes across the baseline. Scramble for a rebound. Picked up by Kenyon Brown.
Major collision there, and no foul was called. That's a sign they're going to let these players play. As Caleb Stevens has got to finish that for Midwest City.
Matthews with the rebound. Whistle on the other end of the court. Stopped a fast break for Carl Albert.
Yeah, they're going to call Kenyon Brown for a foul. What a great foul. Now he held his hands up like, what I do? He was on the ground, and I guess he got tangled with someone from Carl Albert. May have been Brandon Rogers, I'm not sure. Now this will be one of the first times we see Midwest City press against Carl Albert. And Carl Albert struggled dribbling the ball, passing the ball against Lawton High in the third quarter. Midwest City has similar team speed as Lawton High. Can they frustrate Carl Albert with their defense?
Dangerous pass down the court to Rogers, but Rogers gets up in the air and brings it down. If you're wondering about that foul on the other end of the court, an NFHS rule change last year deems that if a player is lying on the court and makes contact that trips up another player, they are automatically guilty of the foul if the whistle is called by the official. It's an interesting rule change.
Well, because it stops the transition, so it's good on the team that commits the foul.
In that case, that's what it did, yeah.
I would do it again, depending on the situation. But I'm sure that Kenyon Brown wasn't thinking about that at all. And I think this foul's on the floor, so both teams have 2 fouls.
Matthews was driving. McKenzie gets called for the foul, his first personal.
No subs yet, too. Both teams will go deep to their bench, but not yet.
Matthews to the posting up. Matthews to Rogers. Rogers hits Matthews' post up, and Matthews gets the bucket.
He got good position. And McKenzie should be better than that. You can't let a guard get that type of post position on you.
Brown kicks the ball back out. Driving inside. Stevens finds Brown under the basket for 2.
We're starting to see Stevens and McKenzie get to the basket and find an open man. Great development for Midwest City. That takes a lot of pressure off Deshaun Denson.
Good heads-up ball handling by Adrian Randall, bringing that ball down the court and creating space.
He's a heads-up player. He's really made a lot of strides this year for Carl Albert. And you trust him with the ball in his hands. Even right there, as he see what I mean?
Oh, my goodness. We need a super substance replay on that one.
We have it. It froze up a bit. You have a technical?
Technical foul called. Is that what just happened? I was looking at you and not down at the court.
Yes. Now, the Midwest City fans were on their side. They started to cheer, but it looks like it's on Carl Albert, which means they'll have a chance at a big possession here.
So it was a great move by Adrian Randall as he drives in. He's got bigger defenders in front of him, and he goes high off the glass, makes the layup, draws the foul. So he has the N1 opportunity coming with the Toonie Buys Houses free throw. A 2-point lead for Carl Albert right now, and then we will have the technical foul shots assessed and possession awarded to the other team.
Stevens got the personal. They didn't announce the tech, though. And I wasn't looking at it.
Well, the tech had to be on Carl Albert because we now have 3 team fouls on each team. So,
it is. It is. So that's why Midwest City was cheering. Okay, so Randall, I should not have got confused on that, but I did. Randall, of course, was shooting the N1 free throw. That was not a technical free throw, and that's huge for Midwest City because you get Deshaun Denson shooting 2.
Denson misses the free throw after Randall also missed. This is the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. Denson had a chance to tie it back up. It's one of the 2, but Midwest City will get the ball back.
So who's the technical on? Now, maybe, so when we saw 2, that may have been 2 for Carl Albert. That's Randall. So he may have done something after he made the shot, and we weren't looking. Chance Bubba Davis in for Midwest City. This is the first sub. Rogers fell down. Denson's not hitting yet from 3.
Gets his own rebound, misses the shot, and Hawkins pulls down the rebound.
Got Garcia in just for Carl Albert.
Royal in the paint, shot up, wide right.
That.
Matthews got a steal and then lost the handle on the ball. It goes out of bounds.
Okay, LeBron Royal, we call it having a mouse in the house. He's got Stevens on a switch. There's no reason for him to rush that. Just go up softly. You got the advantage. You don't need to do anything super quick. So that's a shot that he should have made. So both teams missing some shots you expect them to make, and vice versa.
A 1-point ball game, 9-8's the score. McKenzie in the left corner. Hawkins on D. McKenzie pivots, kicks the ball out. Now Denson in the corner, driving on Rogers, goes to the hole, foul called.
That's what you got to do when you're in a little early shooting funk. Denson was pretty good against Lon MacArthur. I don't know if he shot over 50%, but he shot plenty well enough.
Foul's called on LeBron Royal, his first personal foul, fourth team foul on Carl Albert. Denson with 2 more. Tooney buys houses. Free throws. He hits the first, ties it back up.
He hasn't made a field goal yet, but he's making an impact by getting to the foul line. And now Jarvis Nash checks in for Midwest City. So he didn't play much at all yesterday. He was sick. We were wondering why, because he's a big part of the team. He's really one of their 5 best players, probably one of their 3 best players. And he's in there now. He's not, besides being sick, which he told me earlier he feels better, he's also hurt a little bit. So we'll see if that affects his movement.
DeMario Jones in the ball game for Midwest City as well. Rogers for 3, back iron. Garcia goes high, can't hang on to the ball. McKenzie has it. He shoots the 3 ball. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance 3.
McKenzie shot the ball well yesterday from 3. He's gotten better and better at that for Midwest City.
Now a 4-point lead for Midwest City. At one point, it was just the opposite. Matthews gives to Hawkins. Hawkins for 3 from the corner. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance 3. And that's 2 threes for Hawkins.
Yeah, no one had a hand up on him. When he's got the ball, Middlesea's got to have a hand up on him. He's a dangerous shooter, just like Denson is. Davis
defended by Austin Johnson, who's in the ball game for Carl Albert. Jones under the basket all alone gets the bucket.
Nice finish because Brandon Rogers was right there to block the shot. Jones got it off quickly.
10 seconds, down to the 5-second mark now. Austin Johnson wasting time. Could have been a 5-second call on him there. And a long 3 at the buzzer, no good by Hawkins. That's the end of the scrambled first period. The Midwest City Bombers up by 3, 15-12 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
How can you describe Whataburger's honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich? The chicken just has a certain... And then there's the sauce that just gives you a little bit of... And the cheese, it's the exact right amount of... It's almost too hard to put it into... Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich at Whataburger. Just like you like it.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray back at Bridge Creek High School for the Class 5A. Area runner-up game between the Carl Albert Titans and the Midwest City Bombers. It's Midwest City up by 3, 15-12 as we begin the Buffalo Wild Wings second period. Buffalo Wild Wings at 5500 Tinker Diagonal in Del City. Buffalo Wild Wings offers buy one, get one wing deals every Tuesday and Thursday. Back and forth game. Midwest City takes the lead late in the first. Now a 3-point game. Rogers inside to Austin, too high, through his hands, turnover, and Jones pushing the ball the other way. McKenzie for 3 from the corner. It's long, but he gets the shooter's roll and kisses high off the glass. It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance 3 from Mason McKenzie.
Boy, that's a heat check shot, and you'll take the result no matter how it rolls in.
Brandon Rogers driving in, puts up the shot, cleaned up by Garcia.
Garcia, he's a big-time scorer, or has big-time scoring ability, I should say. Someone needs to step up and start scoring for Carl Albert.
Nash drives in, kicks the ball out to Jones. Now Denson's out top. Midwest City looking for something inside. Keep moving the ball outside. Driving is Nash. Backside layup is good for 2.
The dribble penetration for Midwest City has been tremendous. They got multiple players creating shots, and that's leading to Coach Price calling a timeout.
6:48 to play in the second period. A 6-point lead for Midwest City. 20-14 is the score. Timeout Carl Albert.
I apologize. Coach Ritchie of Carlsbad corrected me here. The score I had was wrong. On the scoreboard, we got it right now. So it's Midwest City up 6. And again, it's players like Jarvis Nash, who was not well enough to play yesterday. Mason McKenzie making threes like that. He's started to do that more and more this season, but to shoot that type of shot with confidence. Caleb Stevens has made plays penetrating, so has McKenzie as well. So the Bombers are really trying to go at Carl Albert. They're trying to go at the teeth of Carl Albert, and they have been effective so far.
Well, they definitely have confidence on the court. Ryan Holloway's checked into the game, coming out of the timeout for Midwest City. Austin Johnson inbound play, goes to Garcia. Ball tipped away and taken away by Midwest City.
Now, this was the type of thing that Carl Albert fell victim to in the second half against Lawton High.
Well, it looked like Carl Albert was not even going to get a pass to get the ball in. There's the three by Davis. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance three by Bubba Davis.
He had a really good game yesterday against Lawton Mac, but he didn't make a three. He's got one now. Boy, they are really at the intensity right now. Midwest City is playing a step ahead, maybe several steps ahead of Carl Albert at the moment.
It feels like Carl Albert's rattled a little bit by that defense, too,
It's a Bomber run. As we know from yesterday, Carl Albert will have a couple runs with them, too. But not right now. We'll see if that starts to change. LeBron Royal's got to be someone who tries to get some inside points. He's got a smaller guy on him than Bubba Davis, who's got a hurt foot.
Well, the guards are having trouble just getting the ball free to get it to Royal inside. Foul's going to be called on Davis.
Yeah, Midwest City's going with a small lineup that's very effective when it comes to pressing, very effective in their half-court offense, but that's where they may be vulnerable. Bubba Davis guarding LeBron Royal, that's just a tough matchup for him. You can see why right there, but there's Nash comes in.
That's a good pass from Johnson, but Midwest City just played that perfectly, and it's Holloway getting the bucket on the other end, and Coach Price says time for another timeout as Midwest City has extended their lead to 11, 25-14 with 5:57 to play in the Buffalo Wild Wings second period. We'll take a timeout as well on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Bridge Creek High School Class 5A area runner-up game. The Midwest City Bombers are on a run, leading the Carl Albert Titans 25-14, just under 6 minutes to play in the Buffalo Wild Wings second period.
You know, it's maybe you're playing for state, you're playing a rival, but I didn't see Midwest City play defense like this against Lawton MacArthur for much of that game. Maybe towards the end they started to.
Well, they've got confidence and they have intensity right now. Royal going to the hole, lays it off the glass for two. Yeah, Carl Albert needed that.
I still think that's the number one answer for Carl Albert's LeBron Royal, especially when Midwest City has a small lineup in.
Holloway brings the ball down the court and gives it to Denson on the right wing. Back to Holloway with Randall on D. And Garcia trying to cut off Holloway, gets called for the foul.
It's a good gamble because Carl Albert needs to force some turnovers, and that's only the first foul of the quarter.
If you anticipate a player's about to pivot and go the other way, if you can beat him to the spot. Garcia defending McKenzie, putting a little pressure on him there. Now Denson, called for the travel. I don't know about that. That's a long jab step, but I don't think his pivot foot moved.
Yeah, if I was Coach Noel, I may tell it to the refs, like, you you realize this guy's got some long legs to him because you want him to be able to make that move. The coach mostly communicating what he wants on defense right now.
Garcia looked like he had a lane. Cut off, though, by Nash. Gives the ball to Randall. Randall goes up off the glass. Shot no good. Denson with the rebound.
Oh.
Takeaway by Carl Albert. Garcia gets the bucket.
Randall made that play because Denson's got to realize when you're in the middle like that, you can't just start dribbling. You got to move the ball to the side.
McKenzie takes the three from the right corner. Shot no good. Johnson gets the rebound, gets hit in the face. Foul's called. He sold that well.
Yeah, so Chance Davis will be called for the foul, his second. He's staying in.
3 fouls on Midwest City with 4 minutes and 33 seconds left to play in the period.
But Davis did not protest too much.
Full court pressure by Midwest City. Johnson and Randall playing catch in the backcourt. Now front court to Garcia. Goes in the middle. Skip pass to Johnson. Johnson shoots the three. Back iron, no good. Battle for the rebound, and Johnson will get called for the foul.
So he got fouled by Davis, and then he fouls Davis. Now Johnson hit a couple of those type of off-balance threes against Lawton High. I think he feels comfortable. He's got a really good, that helps him get a good follow-through on it. Still, it's a tough shot.
Johnson is a confident player.
Yes. Yeah. You saw him against John Marshall. That's a backcourt.
Backcourt's the call, and Carl Albert's probably lucky because it could have been a foul on Randall there.
Randall got her, I think. But so Midwest City, Carl Albert's starting to tighten up some now. They got a 4-point lead. Or no, I'm sorry, they got 4 straight points. Midwest City without Denson in. They got to try to survive here, and they got to trust on ball handlers in Jones and Holloway, who, they're not as experienced as the other players on the floor.
Garcia trying to drive. Splits defenders, gives to Johnson on the left wing. Loose ball.
What a play by Nash. His defense is so amazing sometimes.
McKenzie under the basket, sends Randall sliding backwards and goes off the glass for 2.
Mason McKenzie's had an unbelievable offensive game. This is the best I've seen him play on offense, maybe ever. This is the shots he's making and the just complete game so far.
Garcia goes up from the baseline, scores the bucket. Garcia gets going, and he can be a scoring machine for Carl Albert.
When you talk about someone being a shot maker, look at that play. Really nice play by Garcia.
Holloway for 3, no good. Randall with the rebound. Gets around 2 defenders, still get down the court, and a foul called on Jones.
So this is where, if you're Midwest City, you just want to be aware now. You got 4.
With 3 minutes to play.
Exactly, so not that you don't want to be aggressive, but you just have to be a little more conscientious about the fouls or the way, or the physicality, I should say, you're playing with on defense.
Randall in the backcourt with the ball after the inbound play. Crosses the timeline now. Johnson defended by Denson. Denson all over him. Be careful he doesn't get another 5-second call. Passes off to Royal. Rogers in the corner. Throws it away right in the hands of DeMario Jones. A long pass down the court. Denson going to the hole, scores the ball.
Well, as good of a shooter as Denson is, he knows how to finish. Great pass from Jones, too.
That's Denson's first field goal of the game, and a foul called on Midwest City. That'll be 2 free throws for Garcia.
Yeah, you normally want to avoid those fouls. That's the risk you take. You don't want to send a team to the foul line when you're like 40 feet from the basket like that, and the other team isn't really sure of themselves.
Garcia with the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. Remind you that Toonie Buys Homes in any condition. If you're someone you know needs to sell a home for any reason, please call Toonie Buys Houses today for a cash offer, 405-931-3046.
Caleb Stevens back in. He made a really good drive and dish. And again, when you're thinking about scoring, you don't want to just focus on one guy. So every time Midwest City can do that on the half court, when one guard can break down a defender, That's helpful for Denson. What a play there.
Garcia picks up the loose ball off his own missed free throw, scores the bucket. Back to a 7-point game, 29-22. Stevens trying to drive. Boy, he's awfully close to stepping out of bounds. McKenzie for three, front of the rim, no good. And
they say McKenzie hit the ball, he was out of bounds. That will prevent any transition for Carl Alberts. It's actually not a bad call for Midwest City. And now Midwest City can set up a press.
Darian Thomas in the ball game for Carl Albert. He picked up that rebound. Matthews back in the ball game. Darian Thomas crosses into the front court now. Looking to attack, double teamed, and ball just taken away by Jarvis Nash. Rogers will be called for the foul. He's wanting the block, probably some body contact in there.
Yeah, the way Nash was he was kind of out of control a bit on the jump, but that actually helps you out. That helps you draw a foul sometimes. Rogers did get all ball, but the refs will say they got contact as well. I'll tell you, Jarvis Nash, again, he got hurt in the El Reno game a week ago, so it's not just that he was sick yesterday. He's not 100%, but once you get out there, that adrenaline gets going, Tracy, those injuries don't feel as bad in the moment.
It is a good and legal drug because it's right from your own body, and it makes you feel a lot better.
As long as it's just from your body.
Yeah. Nash hits both of the Toonie Buys Houses free throws, takes the lead, back to 9.
So Elijah Matthews, I talked about him earlier being an X factor. Now there's never a bad time for him to step up and get to the basket, but this is a really good time. He's a lefty, which means maybe he can do things on the side of the court that other players can't do. He needs to get going. He's got the ball right now.
Midwest City is 6 for 7 from the free throw line. Carl Albert is 0 for 3 from the free throw line. That'll have to change for the Titans as well.
You're right, but one thing that's interesting to note is off one of those Carl Albert misses, they got the rebound because no one from Midwest City went to get the ball, and Carl Albert scored 2 points off of that. But otherwise, that's a concerning trend for him for sure.
McKenzie out on the right wing, overloaded on that side of the court for Midwest City. Finally gets the pass off to Jones. Thomas on D. Jones passes the ball right to the feet of Stevens, but Stevens able to come up with it.
Yeah, I think Coach Noel will call a timeout because his team's a little bit too frantic on offense right now. Full timeout.
31-22, Midwest City leading Carl Albert in this elimination game here at Bridge Creek. We're in the second period of play, and we're going to take a break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray back at Bridge Creek High School. Class 5A area runner-up game. It's the second period brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. A minute 25 left. The Midwest City Bombers leading the Carl Albert Titans 31-22.
You could call Carl Albert Midwest City East.
Exactly.
Midwest City could be called Midwest West, but that really wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Midwest City with the ball coming out of the timeout, a 9-point lead. Denson in the paint, goes up against Rogers, puts a shot up, no good. Royal with the rebound.
That's the type of good defense Rogers was playing against Tavares Deans. Against Lawton, Denson a very different type of player, but good defense by Brandon Rogers there.
Garcia picks up his dribble now. Matthews back to Garcia. Garcia for three, front of the rim. Royal with the rebound. Ball goes out of bounds off the hands of Denson.
Well, I talked about keeping Royal off the glass. The Bombers, it's not been a huge problem. There it's kind of a mixed bag. He does get the offensive rebound, but at least Midwest City was able to block the shot. but they got to know where he is, and it's got to take team rebounding to keep him off the glass.
Rogers for three. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance three for Brandon Rogers.
Big development because he did not hit a three, I don't think, against Lawton High. And he needs to in this game.
Stevens to Jones. Jones loses his dribble. Garcia comes up with it and gets called for the double dribble.
Ooh. Oh, he's going to have 2 points. So how's Midwest City going to play these last 32 seconds? Because you want to make – the game is to keep this lead or expand this lead. You don't want to give Carl Albert time for doing much on offense. At the same time, it's really hard to just pass the ball around and not turn it over eventually against a good man defense.
Well, Carl Albert's going to figure something out, too, and settle down. That's 2 fast breaks where they've been called for a travel and a double dribble in the last minute on the clock.
We got a legal screen on Brandon Dixon. That's not going to be free throws, but now Carl Albert, after being down by 11, can get within 3 or 4. Now, of course, it's going to be even harder for them to hold the ball for the last shot, but I don't think they're going to try. But they need to be patient on offense if they can, unless there's a driving opportunity there.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they should be trying to hold the ball against the way this Midwest City defense has been playing.
Right.
We're now down to the 15-second mark, though, and Rogers now driving on Dixon, passes the ball off.
And pull a chair and
a travel call on Darian Thomas. He was trying to back down the defender, and the defender just backed out from underneath him and let him fall.
That's coaching right there. High school players don't think about pulling the chair at that level, but great play by DeMario Jones.
Jones, McKenzie for 3. Off the glass! It's a 2. His toes on the line, but he still hits the buzzer beater, and it's 33-25 at halftime. The Bombers on top of the Titans. It's still a ball game, folks. It's only an 8-point lead, and this is the crosstown rival.
I want to say we got that on our Super Subs instant replay, so thank you to Super Subs and home of the Steak Bomb, Chicken Philly, and so much more over in Midwest City. They're rooting for Carl Albert, but we appreciate them sponsoring all the Middale schools. And thanks to Buffalo Wild Wings in Del City, 5500 Tinker Diagonal. And what an interesting first half. Midwest City looking as good as they've looked since their Noble win 3 games ago on offense.
Absolutely. 33-25 at half, Midwest City on top of Carl Albert. Jordan, you want to talk a little bit about this first half, or you want to go ahead and go to a break and then come back and cover it before second half?
I'm a little tired. Let's get a break in.
All right. We're going to go to a break, folks, here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
The Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit at Whataburger, available from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. Only it's not that time right now, so it's not available. Instead, we must sit here until 11 p.m. watching footage of the flaky, crispy, buttery goodness that is the Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit. Once again, our desires are denied by, ooh, look, the Honey Barbecue Chicken Strip Sandwich. That'll hold us over till 11 p.m. What a burger.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Whataburger, please print back the Monterey Melt. Print back. Okay, yeah, Message received. We're Brentfing it back. Grilled peppers and onions, 2 slices of melty cheese, and jalapeno ranch on 2 fresh beef patties. Brent it on. The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back. We brunched it all right. What a burger!
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes, call Rob and Will.
How can you describe Whataburger's honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich? The chicken just has a certain... And then there's the sauce that just gives you a little bit of... And the cheese, it's the exact right amount of... It's almost too hard to put it into... Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich at Whataburger. Just like you like it.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray back at Bridge Creek High School, Class 5A. Area runner-up game between the Midwest City Bombers and the Carl Albert Titans. The Bombers right now getting it done. Defense has been phenomenal for the Bombers. They lead 33-25 at halftime. And as I'm looking at the statistics from the first half, Jordan, one of the things I noticed is there's not as many rebounds for Midwest City. That it didn't feel like Carl Albert's winning the rebound battle, but Midwest City doesn't have any rebounds. And then I realized they've actually stolen the ball away from Carl Albert so many times that Carl Albert's not gotten as many shots up.
Yeah,
So-
it's been when you force turnovers, you're not going to get a lot of rebounds. So that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. And they haven't gotten a lot of offensive rebounds either. But Midwest City's played the better overall game because they've had more players step up and try and be able to create shots off the dribble than Carl Albert has. But an 8-point game, and you're talking about a team in Carl Albert with a coach in Jay Price who makes it to state every year. This is going to be a tough second half for Midwest City to close them out.
6 of 7 at the free throw line for Midwest City, 0 of 3 at the line for Carl Albert. Leading scorer in the ball game, Midwest City's Mason McKenzie has 10 points, 8 points for Xavier Garcia for Carl Albert, and then from there it goes on down. But what a first half performance by the Bombers. They come out on fire, and they are being extremely aggressive defensively.
And there's plenty of time for Carl Albert here. So
Third
they survived, even though, again, they were outplayed by Midwest City.
Third period brought to you by Patrick Newby Farmers Insurance. The Newby Agency is your local Oklahoma Farmers Insurance agency in Midwest City. Newby Agency is family-owned and operated, has been serving the public for over 40 years. Their office is located off 29th and Air Depot near Tinker Air Force Base. Drop by and see them at 560 West Boeing Drive, Suite A, or give them a call at 405-733-7671. Missed by McKenzie, rebound by Elijah Matthews. Royal out top. Statistically, Royal not on the boards much in that first half. 4 points, 3 rebounds. He's backing down, goes to the hole, misses a shot, gets his own rebound again, misses that putback, still battling, and Stevens comes out of there finally with a board.
Bombers going small. Not sure what Denson was doing there, but the Midwest City keeps the ball. Bombers going small. Kenyon Brown not starting. Bubba Davis is. Brandon Dixon is the one guarding LeBron Royal. He actually held his ground pretty well there. And Royal, I think, is just a bit frustrated that he's just not playing at a good speed right now when he's got the ball in offense.
Baseline inbound play for Midwest City. 3, shot no good. Stevens gets the board, goes up, misses the rebound, but it's cleaned up by Bubba Davis.
And that was not something Midwest City was doing much of in the first half, was getting offensive rebounds.
Only 3 offensive boards for Midwest City in the first half. Quick whistle and...
legal screen on Matthews.
Turnover for Carl Albert once again. That's one stat I was not tracking in this game. I wish I had. It's been a lot of turnovers for the Titans.
Yeah, and I thought they would get better, even though they only had one day, of course, since their Lawton High game. But I thought they would get better at taking care of the ball after that Lawton High game. It hasn't happened yet.
Stevens for 3. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance 3. Stevens gets his first points of the ball game. Bobby Lewis Insurance has surprisingly great rates. 2 locations, Choctaw and Del City. You can call them in Del City at 405-670-3665. Rogers extending an arm a little bit. Coach calling for a foul there, not getting it. Hawkins pass to Randall. Goes wide, ball tip, takeaway again for Midwest City. Stevens going to the hole, lays it off the glass for 2, and a timeout by Coach Jay Price as Midwest City is now up by 15, Jordan.
This is unbelievable. This is as good as I've seen them play against a quality opponent. Maybe since they were, playing against Del City, and they outplayed them in that game, even though Del City forced overtime. Midwest City ended up winning. But this is just a shocking how well Midwest City's playing right now. I thought it'd be a closer game at the moment.
We're going to take a quick break here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger, please print back the Monterey Melt. Print back. Okay, yeah, message received. We're printing it back. grilled peppers and onions, 2 slices of melty cheese, and jalapeno ranch on 2 fresh beef patties. Bring it on. The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back. We brunched it all right. What a burger!
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Bridge Creek High School Class 5A area runner-up game. The Midwest City Bombers leading the Carl Albert Titans by 15, 40-25 in the Patrick Newby Farmers Insurance third period. Carl Albert with the ball coming out of the timeout. Rogers in the corner for 3. Alwyn goes right over the rim, misses everything. Fast break, uncontested. Caleb Stevens lays it off the glass for 2. He has 7 points.
Wow.
And Midwest City has 9 unanswered points to begin the third period.
So I said he and Matthews would be X factors for their team, and Caleb Stevens, there's Matthews on cue right there, but Caleb Stevens, big half for Midwest City.
Carl Albert stops the bleeding with the drive by Matthews. Back to a 15-point game, 42-27. Matthews and Hawkins. And now Dixon for 3.
Wow.
Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance 3 from Brandon Dixon.
Now, when you got Brandon Dixon making threes, you know it's just your night. That's not what he normally does.
Now, this Midwest City team that's playing so well right now, they are the defending state champs.
Yep.
They're showing they know how to win ball games. Garcia to Royal. Royal off the glass for 2. Carl Albert needs him to assert himself. Loose ball scramble, and a foul called on Elijah Matthews, reaching around on that loose ball.
First foul on Elijah, so that's not a problem. And it really, you got to gamble if you're Carl Albert. That what they did well in that last possession, they just were aggressive right away. If Midwest City is going to play physical and quick, for Carl Albert, you need to be aggressive and you need to do it right away. Get some quick 2s, even though there's still plenty of time in this game. But if you can, it's a good psychological thing. If you can get this game to around 10 points at the end of the quarter, there's still time for that.
Denson driving, going to the hole, fouled. Garcia didn't like the call. He's called for his second team foul. And Deshaun Denson's getting the Tootie Buys Houses free throws.
The three-point shooting has not been there for Deshaun Denson, but it's been there for many of his other teammates. And so he's contributing by finding ways to get to the basket, get to the foul line, and he sells those fouls real well.
Now Denson now has 4 points on 5 attempts from the charity stripe. These are the Tootie Buys Houses free throws. The lead now is at 17. Make it 18 as Denson hits both of the free throws. Full court pressure still by Midwest City, exerting energy, doing everything they can do to make sure they win this ball game. Jackson Webster in the ball game for Carl Albert. Elijah Matthews drives and misses the layup. Thomas with the rebound and gets fouled on the putback attempt.
Darian Thomas can do a lot of what LeBron Royal can do. Again, not very tall, but he is a physical specimen as a sophomore. And he can be a factor on the offensive glass. And again, you just got to find that edge on offense, something you can rely on, and that could be part of it for Carl Albert.
Thomas hits the first of the Tootie Buys Houses free throws. He's on the scoreboard. Gets the lead back to 17.
Got the score wrong again. I apologize. It is now 47-30. Plenty of time. We learned this yesterday. Carl Albert made a run against Lawton High and got much closer than I thought they would. I thought that game was over. Lawton High did end up winning, but Carl Albert made it real interesting down the stretch, so you don't count him out at all.
Long pass down the court. Bubba Davis drags a foot, doesn't get the call. Loose ball picked up by Garcia. Hands it off to Matthews, and Matthews will bring the ball back up the court. Round defender, going to the hole, lays it high off the glass for 2.
That's what he's got to do when you're going to your left like Matthews. He's got to be a factor in this game for Carl Albert, especially attacking to his left.
Stevens kicks the ball in the corner to Davis. And now Denson inside, back to Bubba Davis, and Davis is going to get fouled. It's going to be a hard hack coming in from Brandon Rogers. That's his third personal foul.
He fouled out yesterday. Coach Price does not like taking him out, even if he's not shooting the ball well. Jarvis Nash coming in, he was, again, you love bringing him off the bench when he can play at full speed because he can do so many things on defense.
Denson, jab step, three, shot no good. Garcia with the rebound. Thomas in the front court, double team, kicks the ball to Webster and back to Garcia, is driving the baseline. Lets the defender get up in the air, misses the backside layup.
You know, considering they have a small lineup, Midwest City's contesting those shots real well in the paint.
Inside pass goes to McKenzie. Rogers gets the takeaway. Thomas 1-on-2, but he's going to go right to the hole with it. Has his shot blocked. Jump ball on the rebound. It'll stay with Carl Albert.
Mario Jones back in. He's made a couple of good plays. And Midwest City can go really small now, taking McKenzie out, who's normally a good interior defender. At least he was for the team last year because Carl Albert is playing small as well.
Matthews pulls up 10 feet away on the baseline. Shot no good. Loose ball scramble. Dixon comes up with it. Jones pushing. Now Denson inside. Shot blocked. A rebound goes to Jones. Nash misses a three. Rebound goes to Jones, and Jones travels.
No, there's something else that happened. I think.
Did Rogers get called for another foul?
They're changing the call. It's not going to be a travel, I don't think, but we'll see if one ref overrules the other. I don't know what they're calling. Maybe a double foul on Chance Davis and Brandon Rogers, which that would be really bad for Carl Albert, even if Davis gets a foul. It is a double foul. Yep. That's going to be 4 on Rogers. Now, I didn't catch it on Davis, but
that's 3 on Davis.
Yeah, that does matter for Midwest City, but Rogers may matter a little bit more for given the role he has, especially since he's guarding Denson. Now Thomas looks like will guard Denson.
Jones takes the inbound pass. Dixon backs up. Webster all over him.
Well, it's a defensive lineup for Carl Albert with Webster and Thomas in. Can they force turnovers?
Matthews staying all over Jones. Austin Johnson in the game. Nash gets around him. Foul will be called.
Well, Nash did not have much room there to go, but he committed. And again, the dribble driving for Midwest City has been strong throughout this game.
Austin Johnson called for the foul, and that puts Nash at the line, shooting the Toonie Byhouse's free throw. 2:16 to play in this Patrick Newby Farmers Insurance third period. Midwest City's lead has been as much as 18 in this period. Carl Albert scored the last 4 points. Well, now Midwest City adds back to their total. Nash hits the first of the Toonie Byhouse's free throws. Webster takes a seat as Hawkins checks back into the ball game for Carl Albert.
And that's a good sub for Carl Albert. You need Hawkins. He's probably going to be fresh now. He had 2 threes in the first half. And Midwest City's going zone. Jordan Hawkins is one of those guys who can really start to make a difference for Carl Albert and chip away at this lead.
Garcia pushes against Nash, kicks it back out.
There it is.
Hawkins for 3. Fouled on the three-point shot. Every night, Jordan, every night. Saw it twice last night in Okmulgee.
That was one that a lot of those were obvious. That one was not as obvious. And that's 4 fouls on Bubba Davis. At least if you're Midwest City, you can bring in a Mason McKenzie for him.
Jordan Hawkins getting 3 Toonie Byhouse's free throws. First one is good.
Well, that's a break for Carl Albert. Again, they've had a hard time generating much offense. Have not gotten much shooting from anyone else.
0 for 3 in the first half of the line, 3 for 3 in the second half of the line. Back iron, no good. McKenzie checks back into the ball game. Bubba Davis takes a seat.
You know what's interesting is Coach Noel has definitely shortened his bench. We haven't seen Anthony Dixon or Keelan Jenkins yet. There's lane violation. That stings if you're Midwest City because now you're giving him 4 free throws. And that could cost you a point. But we saw Aiden Sutton in at times. Early in the game against Lawton MacArthur, Coach Noel has had a different approach with his bench here as far as who he plays. Still using a few subs, but not as many.
Holloway in the front court finds Nash. Defense goes up, Nash scores.
Well, what a good game he's had. You consider again, I'll say it again, he was sick yesterday, and he's also slightly injured. Maybe not as injured as we thought, but still.
Darren Thomas has the ball tipped away by Nash.
That will not be his last deflection, I promise. Nice pass by Johnson.
Thomas goes up, backwards layup, if you will, and gets the foul. Foul's on Denson. Thomas will get the Toonie Buys Houses free throws.
We just feel like at some point Carl Albert's going to make a run. But of course, they're going to need to make free throws for that to happen, you would think.
The way they're shooting free throws right now, it's like foul them every time they shoot, right?
Well, it depends on who fouls, but yes.
Thomas, after making both free throws in his last trip to the line, misses both this time. Rebound goes to Hawkins, and Thomas is fouled again going up for the shot. This time it'll be McKenzie.
Well, Denson got too far in the basket. He did.
Nope, Holloway gets called for the foul.
That's not a bad one for Midwest City. But so Carl Albert's staying alive on this possession here because Jordan Hawkins, or Denson was not sealing Jordan Hawkins here. So that's your star player needs to get as much space as he can. Now Kenyon Brown will come make an appearance here. He started the game and got in foul trouble. And Mill City decided to go small after they took him out, and that was really effective.
Thomas hits both of the Toonie Buys Houses free throws this time. LeBron Royal checks back into the ball game. Thomas takes a seat. Back to a 14-point ball game. It was an 8-point game at half. Jones to McKenzie. McKenzie pushes the ball in the front court. Nash attacks the basket, lays it up the glass.
You know, there was a time when I thought Nash was not as much of an offensive player, but you know, that was a really beautiful attack there. His offense has gotten better this season.
That little hesitation move he had too, and then he just exploded to the goal off of one foot. Matthews for 3. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance 3 for Elijah Matthews.
He does not look for that shot very often, but that looked really good.
Leads down to 13. 46 seconds left. Kenyon Brown travels. He thought the contact was coming before it came and took a step. Carl Albert on a little bit of a run right now. Garcia out top, 36 seconds on the clock. Patrick Newby, Farmers Insurance, third period.
I'm surprised Matthews didn't shoot there. He had some room.
Garcia back out to Matthews. Down low to Royal. Royal off the glass for 2.
That was the first time he really just shot with ease in the paint instead of just rushing it. He has no reason to rush it.
Leads down to 11. McKenzie driving, foul called on Johnson. McKenzie going to the line for the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. This may end up being a good foul. It might get Carl Albert the ball back with another chance to score, and especially if McKenzie happens to miss one or both free throws. McKenzie's not scored in the third period. Well, he has now.
You got to pick the right time to say that. which maybe it was for him. But it's good for Midwest City that you have him. Caleb Stevens about to check in. You got guys you can trust with the ball. Jarvis Nash, these guys got so much good experience on the state championship team. So Denson can rest right now.
Got a feeling Coach Price is looking for a three in the last few seconds. Puts Rogers in and takes Royal out.
Yeah, well, you're not worried about Rogers fouling in this sequence.
Garcia driving, kicks the ball out to Hawkins. Hawkins for three, gets fouled, ball goes in and out.
Jarvis Nash has been playing so well, but he's got to know better. Just go straight up there. I know you've got to worry about Jordan Hawkins shooting threes, but that's twice now this quarter. He's gotten fouled shooting threes. And that's big. I mean, that's what's going to keep Carl Albert in this game. And I said, can they get within 10 or so? And they can now, heading into the fourth quarter.
13-point game, and Hawkins can make it a 10-point game from the line. He hits the first. Toonie buys houses in any condition, folks. Call them at 405-931-3046. And remind you that our playoff title sponsor is Confident Chevrolet Buick GMC. From oil changes to major repairs, they service all makes and models. Visit Confident Chevrolet Buick GMC, exit Hudeberg at 6100 Tinker Diagonal, Midwest City. Confidence is Cavender. Hawkins hits the first two free throws. He hits all three, and it's a 10-point game. Loose ball. And that is the end of the Patrick Newby Farmers Insurance third period. The Bombers went on a run, got the lead out to 18. Carl Alberts cut it back to a 10-point game as we get ready for the final frame here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
The Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit at Whataburger, available from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. Only it's not that time right now, so it's not available. Instead, we must sit here until 11 p.m. watching footage of the flaky, crispy, buttery goodness that is the Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit. Once again, our desires are denied by, ooh, look, the Honey Barbecue Chicken Strip Sandwich. That'll hold us over till 11 p.m. What a burger.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray back at Bridge Creek High School for the Class 5A area runner-up game between the Midwest City Bombers and the Carl Albert Titans. It looked like Midwest City might run away in the third period, but Carl Albert is always a contender, or have been for a decade, and they show
over
why.
A decade, yeah.
And they cut the lead back to 10. It's 55-45 as we get ready for the Louis fourth period. Louis, located at 6007 Southeast 15th Street in Midwest City. Louis, we're in your neighborhood.
Winner of this game will play Booker T on Monday.
Elijah Matthews with a takeaway. Goes up, and he's going to get the and one.
This is what you got to be careful for when you protect the lead. The other team is going to just be more and more aggressive on defense. Caleb Stevens wasn't ready. Elijah Matthews, I talked about him as an X factor. He has stepped up.
He was big in the third period with 7 points, and now has this first two of the fourth. Matthews, the leading scorer for Carl Albert now with 12 points, matching the 12 points for Mason McKenzie on the other side of the ball. And it is a 7-point game again. We're back right close to where we were at halftime.
Whoa.
And a score for Easy Bucket for Midwest City on the other end. Mason McKenzie gets 2 points. Garcia in the paint, goes up, and he's fouled going to the line. That was a little hectic for Carl Albert, but it results in free throws.
It was hectic for Midwest City on that basket. A couple of almost steals. Carl Albert's applying the type of pressure they did against Lawton High that helped them come back in that game. This game is more manageable for where they're doing it right now. So much time left. But Midwest City is going to be a hard team to just keep pressing. You would think.
Garcia hits the Toonie Buys Houses free throw. That's his first points of the second half. He had 8 in the first half to lead Carl Albert. Misses the second. Denson gets the rebound.
They're going to have timeout by Midwest City. I don't think Coach Noel's called one yet, or maybe he's called one, but he's going to use his full timeout here. Yeah, this will be their second timeout called, and we're going to have a full timeout.
8-point lead for Midwest City, 57-49. Fourth period of play. We're going to take a break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger, please Brent back the Monterey melt. Brent back. Okay, yeah, message received. We're Brentfing it back. Grilled peppers and onions, 2 slices of melty cheese, and jalapeno ranch on 2 fresh beef patties. Brent it on. The Whataburger Monterey melt is back. We brumped it all right. What a burger!
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett and Jordan Ray back at Bridge Creek High School Class 5A area runner-up game between Midwest City and Carl Albert. It's an 8-point lead for Midwest City, 57-49 with 7:18 to play in the Louis fourth period. Denson driving in, goes up, foul called quickly on that, and that's a pretty touchy foul call there.
Yeah, Coach Price agrees with you. I probably would too, but I don't know, when they get into the paint, I mean, we're way up there. It's only so much we can see, but you're right. But, again, this is part of Deshaun Denson's skill. I wouldn't call him a flopper, not that he wouldn't flop. That's his rule, missed free throw there. But he's very good at selling fouls when he gets to the basket.
While we're in this free throw break with Toonie Buys Houses free throws, I don't normally do this, but I'll take the privilege of giving a shout-out to a 3-year-old who's learning to love sports. My grandson, Finn James, is watching the Oklahoma Sports Network right now and enjoying basketball.
We love our young viewers. Hope he tunes in next week. We'll have some teams in the state, including one of these two, but only one of these two. Garcia's taken over here. Now, if you're Midwest City, you got to figure out, can we keep him from the free throw line? That's kind of the game right now. Xavier Garcia for Carl Albert, Deshaun Denson for Midwest City getting to the foul line.
Garcia with the Toonie Buys Houses free throws now. Denson hit 1 of 2 on the other end. Now on this end of the court, it's Garcia. And if I'm not mistaken in mixing my players up, Garcia senior for the Carl Albert Titans.
The only senior in their rotation. So he's the one trying to stop us from being in this last game in high school.
Misses both of them. Johnson tips it out. Rogers for 3. Front of the rim. Rebound by Denson.
Rogers, his shooting just has not been there this game for the most part, or either game.
Scramble for the ball. Holloway. And a timeout call by Coach Noel.
Well, now he's down to 2, I think, and so's Carl Albert. He's got to tell his team, I can't keep bailing you out with timeouts, although I don't know if he needed to do that in that case.
Well, he probably called the timeout when it was a scramble on the floor and the whistle was just a little late. Yeah. This is a 30-second timeout. 58-49 the score with 6:42 to play in the Louis fourth period. A 9-point lead for the Bombers. They've led by as much as 18. Carl Albert turning up the defensive pressure the way that Midwest City did earlier in the game, and it's having an effect on Midwest City's offense now.
I want to mention El Reno just annihilating John Marshall, according to what we're looking at, 82-32. If El Reno wins, they'll play Tulsa Memorial in round 1. No, too early to say who's going to win between Tulsa S&M Prep and Collinsville, and the winner of that game would play Del City. But East Central pounding Bishop Kelly. They would play Lawton High, whoever wins that game.
Midwest City with the ball coming out of the timeout. Keeping the ball out on the perimeter. Screen set by Jarvis. Nash, he rolls.